3, 2, 1. Don't be nervous. It'll be fine. All right, and we're gonna do a share screen.
Oh, goodness. I can see everybody.
Good job, Brandon. Go ahead. I like that it's being filtered through the mask first.
Shawn, I love your hair.
You know those people who just have holes for their noses and stuff? And just...
Shawn, I'm obsessed.
Can you guys see the screen?
Thank you. I got some products.
It says Kevin Winston started screen share.
There we go.
Oh, no.
Here we go.
Okay, ready?
Sweet piano music.
All right, there's no music.
Oh, you're hearing it.
We've all gone deaf.
It looks great.
But yeah, what's good?
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, it's not sharing audio.
Dun, dun,
Okay, we'll
dun,
sing.
dun,
Done.
dun,
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 dun.
dun, dun, dun. Wow,
That was great.
that's good.
All right, that was the brief little intro there. So hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Kevin Winston with Digital LA. We are super excited here to be honored to be hosting the 6th anniversary celebration of the New Adventures of Peter and Wendy. Thank you to Jenny and Shawn for helping put this all together. I'm super excited to be able to host this. We have the cast and the crew, the creators and the actors from the super popular web series that came out 6 years ago. So without further ado, let's just have everyone introduce themselves. So Shawn, you want to go ahead and get started?
Hi, I'm Shawn Deloach. I am the writer and co-creator of The New Adventures of Peter and Wendy. I guess we'll go. Emmett, you're next.
Everybody's screen might be
Okay,
different.
I'm a writer type, but I was the transmedia producer on this project, which meant that we use a lot of platforms, including social media, to tell the story outside of just the web series, and I sort of oversaw a lot of that, and a lot of that was me playing the characters on Twitter and sort of overseeing the fans creating their own Twitter roleplay characters to live alongside us in Neverland, Ohio, where the series was set.
And let's also add something fun that happened in the past week. Emmett?
Cool.
Past week, I decided to, I hasn't started yet, I just got the idea to start a podcast. I'm going to do like a retrospective on The Prisoner, the cult classic late 60s British TV show.
Nice. Shawn, something fun that happened to you in the past week?
I'll say what I can say. It's going to have to be sketchy. I am collaborating with one of the biggest iconic creators of an animated property on a new animated property.
Okay.
Hey.
All right, looking forward to that news.
All I can say, and it made no sense.
Paula, how about yourself?
Hi guys, I'm Paula Rhodes. I played Wendy Darling, and I got to be a producer for seasons 2 and 3 as well. Let's see. Last week, I mean, it kind of feels like it's just been one long day. Have we actually had?
Yeah.
I am in post-production for my first feature film that I've directed, and we've been chugging along on that, and we finished building a voiceover booth in the little guest house over here, so that's been our trying to be productive, not just cry on the couch anymore.
Awesome. Next on my screen is Jenny Powell.
Hello, I'm Jenny Powell. I was the producer for all 3 seasons. I was also the casting director, so had a really fun time casting all these awesome people. Let's see, something that's fun that happened the last week. My husband and I are volunteering at the Last Bookstore, if anyone knows, in downtown.
Yes, that's awesome.
Guys, I cannot describe how fun it is to just wander that bookstore when no one's in it. It was like super magic. And we could get any books we wanted in the whole store.
What?
I think like half of the role players worked at bookstores, right? In Neverland?
Right.
That seems like that was
There were so many bookstores in Neverland.
All right, very cool. Kyle?
Oh, hi. I'm Kyle. I was Peter Pan, and I helped make the thing too.
Helped.
Maybe 3 fun things. One,
Oh, go off.
Kayla started. Everything now is just my daughter. I have no life except to make sure that she lives her fullest. She started rolling over in her sleep now to figure out how she wants to sleep. And last night we caught her with her both her arm and her leg out like through the holes in the crib. She's like hugging the mattress.
That'll happen.
It was cute and dangerous. I finished playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's pretty exciting.
It's all about my daughter. Also, I beat the video game that's about 40 hours.
It was 42 and a half. And then I'm working on a card game right now, which is fun. But
Yeah.
that's it. I'm done.
All right, very cool. And Brennan,
Oh, hello.
we got you mid-drink. That's fine.
I'm Brennan Murray. I played Michael Darling in the web series that we're talking about.
Nice.
I also helped create it. No, I didn't do anything other than that. And I barely did that if I showed up, you know. So, no, but something that happened to me in the last week. Oh, I used to be obsessed with I Love Lucy, obsessed with that show. Nick at Night was like all I watched when I was a kid. And I newly found that it was on Hulu, and I started watching again, and I'm dying laughing. It's hysterical. And then I started reading some autobiographies and biographies of the cast, and Vivian Vance was so interesting, the woman who played Ethel, and she had a lot of like mental health issues and stuff, and back then they just weren't talked about or weren't even referenced and stuff, and she was one of the first advocates. It was just really cool. So I'm newly obsessed with I Love Lucy again, and I don't have any kids.
All right, thank you. And lovely.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I played Lily Baga. Sorry, I forgot what the question was. It was that was right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
who you are, and then
Who we-
something fun this week.
Oh, something fun. I started a new
Too much for her.
book. Yeah, it's just, I'm actually enjoying this time doing new things. I'm teaching myself guitar and learning a new language, and it's been fun.
What language?
Language.
French.
No.
How do you say
Ouais,
just
bon.
the language? Why wouldn't you say French? Why wouldn't you be more specific?
This is the
Quit
kind
being
of
dirty,
drama kids
Brennan.
see on set.
Sorry, I haven't seen you in a while. I got to get all my.
Oh, I know it, honey.
All right, and Graham.
Oh, now see, Spencer.
My name is Graham Hertz. I played John Darling, and yesterday I finished aquascaping this bitch.
Wait.
And I'm gonna buy my children to put in it next week.
Awesome.
Very
Very
babies are the same.
That's the way to do it, because growing them yourself is a beast.
How would you do that? We've all made terrible decisions.
Awesome. And Percy.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Percy Daggs. I played James Josh Hook in The New Adventures of Peter and Wendy. I went through a very challenging and traumatic series of auditions to be a part of this Pan family, so I played my shoes, and I'm very proud to be here. Something exciting that happened this week, but my wife's tucked in the corner over here. I was looking for her help. Or
Hi,
something.
John Tio.
Oh,
Hi.
head in, back. That reminded me of my exciting thing. For the first time sheltering in place, the kids went to go spend the night at Granny's house.
Oh.
Jealous.
Let me pour you some. Here, get a glass.
Are they gone right now?
They're going right now. They'll be back in a couple of hours, so they gave me some time to hang out with y'all. But in that time, we decided to utilize that time by we decided to start doing Insanity with Shawn T. So yeah, that's my wife's.
Oh, yeah.
We're working out and taking care of these kids and homeschooling, and that's about it, man. What's up, Matt?
Hello.
All right, Matt, you're
What's that
next.
gonna do? He's got Neverland behind
I
him.
found Neverland when we mentioned it. I was like,
Ah!
Oh.
I don't even know how to try to do that.
hello, everybody. My name's Matt Bro. I had the honor of directing all 3 seasons of The Adventures of Peter and Wendy. And it's so good to see everybody. This is so exciting. Something fun in the last week. I also have 2 kids, so boy, to hear that you guys are doing exercise and work when the kids are gone, we would sleep. That would all. But, and so, what's something exciting we've done in the last week? Finally watched the Trolls sequel. That was it was pretty good. It's actually pretty fun.
Slow it down.
Yeah.
All right, very cool.
You have to pay like $24 somewhere online to see it, though.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
And I'm lying, Matt. I binge watched Queen of the South. That's what I'm really doing. Queen of the South.
There you go. There you go.
There's so many documentaries out right now. One on Natalie Wood. One on the Michelle Obama one. The Last Dance with Michael Jordan is insane. There's just so much.
Not have pegged Brennan for the documentary.
I don't know why. I watched all the TV. I gotta go somewhere. So now it's
There.
But
Awesome.
The Last Dance is incredible. I can't believe they followed him around in 98, 97. It's crazy.
Cool. So I'm just going to ask a couple of questions and then hang out with the fans. That's basically what we're here for. So I guess I'll start off with how did you get the idea for the show and get it all together?
Well, so I did a show, a web series called Welcome to Sanditon that Jenny produced. And opened my eyes to what?
She also cast it. She cast you.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, she cast me in
It's all my fault.
Which opened my eyes to the idea of literary web series. And after that show was done, I had the itch to do one. And I was looking at characters in the public domain, and Peter Pan showed up. And before I did anything else, I went over to Shawn's house, and I was like, Shawn, Peter, and then he finished my sentence, Pan, and we just went from there.
And it was kind of romantic because we met like in the middle of the street, like it was raining.
And it was raining.
We had a tiny
we were breathing heavy. He goes, Peter, and I go, Pan.
There was a lens flare.
There was a dramatic swell of music.
Yeah.
And I think we were actually at the Pemberley Digital holiday party, Kyle, when you approached me, and you're like, Jenny, Peter Pan. I was like, what? Duh, let's do it.
Favorite thing, and Shawn and I were working on it, and so we were glad to have you in on it, and magic.
And Sanditon also had this sort of interactive fan role player element, which all the creators of the show, I think, wanted to include in this as well, which is how I ended up getting involved.
Right.
All right. And
Personally, I always thought first season that Paula was involved in creating the show too, because she was so in it, and she just seemed like the perfect Wendy that I thought like they created it because of her too. So it's
I auditioned.
I know. I thought that.
We made her go through the process.
That's really hard to believe.
Wait, can I just say something about the audition though? Because I'm sure that might be the next question.
Honestly, I'd love to hear your guys' audition stories.
That's it. Let's just go to that question. Can everyone tell their audition story? People who did the audition tell their story, and then on the other side, why you were like, oh, that's the one for the role.
Okay, so I just have to get this story out. So I had a blast at the chemistry reads. I thought we did it was it Jet Studios in North Hollywood?
Yeah.
And it was
now like a video game bar.
Yeah, it's a video game bar now.
Oh, really?
Sad. But I just remember, you guys paired me with several different Wendy's. But I knew, once I was paired with Paula, it just clicked. I don't know if you remember Paula or if you feel the same way, but I just felt like you and I had such amazing chemistry in comparison. Well, for me, in comparison to the other Wendy's, it was just magical and. And I didn't know you, but we were just playing off each other. We were sitting on this little couch, and it was just so awesome. And I was like, even if I don't get it, she's gonna get it. She's in the bag.
I kind of thought that about you.
And I thought that about
Graham. She's obviously Lily, but I my name.
And that was my thought about Graham. After we auditioned, I ran to him before he got in his car, and I was like, you are him. You are that literal character. Are you acting? He was like, nope, that's just me.
Do not touch me.
Get away from me. Why are you at my car?
Talking to me, I glazed over and I was like, bye, y'all.
I remember when I auditioned that there was one other person auditioning for Michael who's actually pretty good, and I think he fit the physical description that they're looking for, I think, at the beginning. And I was really nervous because he was really, really funny. But then when I paired up with Graham, I felt what Lovely felt with Paula, and we just clicked, and I was like, we're the darling boys.
There were some definite different types like matching up as they went, and yeah, Justin I think was that guy, and he was amazing too.
Yeah, he was so.
But I remember watching you and thinking, oh, well, you just can't help but love. Like, although Michael has to be annoying at some points, you're like lovably annoying in all you do. So it was just perfect.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I did this thing where I had a callback the day of the initial audition where I had to go all the way down to San Diego, and because of the weird Actors Access thing, my commercial agent tried to field that, and I was like, no, you don't get any of this money. And so when I tried to reschedule, they didn't follow through. So I had to find out how to contact Jenny. I went to her personal website and found her cell phone number. I did not know her. And I was like, hi, can I come in at a different time on Friday?
Way to hustle.
It's actually my biggest pet peeve is for actors to do that. But because I remember your stuff coming in and I really, really wanted to see you, you're like the only actor I didn't give total crap for doing that. And I was just like, yes, you can.
Good hustle, Graham.
Everybody loves Graham.
Oh, Debbie's right. The hustle only works if you're like, you're on your game. Like if you're good for the role, then they can be like, okay.
I mean, whatever you want.
You have to know when to hustle.
Fine.
Yeah, Graham is probably the least like his character in most ways in real life.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's how good he is, you guys. He's a chameleon.
There's something about Graham during the audition process that I don't know if we've ever told him. He wore this jacket. He wore this coat.
Oh my God! That jacket was amazing.
Lost it.
I mean, we didn't. When you're going through the audition process, you don't necessarily remember every person's name, but it was like, oh, that guy with that cool coat, he was amazing.
That jacket helped. I'm serious. Like, if you can get the wardrobe for what you think your character should wear, oh my God, do it. It's the most expensive thing I've ever purchased. I got it with.
You lost it?
You lost it?
I left it at a bar in a corner, and I went back and somebody had taken it, and there was no
the
love.
universe took it.
It's fine.
Who would it be if I had it? And I said, Graham, I found it.
You don't own clothes. The universe just lends them to you.
I remember doing the audition or the callback part of it, and I really thought another girl was kicking my tail in that. I was like, oh, she's it. She's so good. And then I just kind of was like, well, just gonna leave it all on the floor. And I kind of went a little wild with the end scene of trying to convince Peter to stay. And I like chased Kyle around the room and like climbed up on the couch and grabbed his face and all those things. And I'm like, I might have been overboard walking out the room.
Well,
but they liked it.
obviously, that's what got us. Honestly, like that was the moment that we were like, that's her. Like when you climbed up on that couch and you grabbed Peter, like I was like, that's Wendy.
Auditions people, if you climb something or jump over furniture, they'll cast you.
Stacked classes fail to teach.
Brennan did it too. He was the only Michael to climb on the couch instead of just sit down.
That's true. Paula, didn't you voice Wendy or Alice in Wonderland or something for a video or a ride or something before you got cast?
No, I did a voice match for Disney thing, but they only used me as Scratch for Alice in Wonderland because I can do a voice match for the actors that played the same actress in the original Disney movies played Alice in Wonderland and Wendy, and I could voice match her. So I was like, come on, I gotta get this, even though I wasn't doing like British accent or anything. But
I think for a couple years after I met you, I told people you were the voice of Alice on the ride. I was like, she does the rides.
Disneyland, if you're listening, as you'll be revamping a lot when you reopen, I'm game. And I have a new broadcast quality studio in my house.
Oh, and I was going to mean to ask you, I need to come over and maybe use that.
I think Percy should tell us about his audition.
Yeah, I want to hear Percy since
yeah.
Yeah, Percy, let's hear your story.
Kevin, it just sounds like everybody went for it. I mean, if a fancy jacket, besides Graham's talent, put him over the top, and Paula climbed on her couch, mine was without clothes. I decided to take mine off. When I first got the audition, I really wanted it because I was like, okay, it's a romance, it's comedy, it's a lead part. I hadn't met everybody yet, but I was like, okay, they want a black man playing the CEO, playing Captain Hook. The world hasn't seen this shit before, so I want to do that. That's new. And so I went for it, man. And I heard an interview from another actor talking about taking risks in the room. So I think I did the scene, or I know I did the scene where Wendy is starting to have feelings for Peter again, and I'm trying to make sure that I distract her and keep her attention. And when it got to that point in the script, I'd take my shirt off, and I did. And I was kind of frozen after that moment, and I realized because I didn't know what was going to happen. I was like, no, maybe that was too much. Maybe that was a little too much. They might think I'm crazy, but hey, it worked out. It worked out.
I think you're the only one that did that. I think Percy was the one that took his shirt off, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think
the vampire guy do it. We had one guy.
No, the vampire guy did not do it.
Okay.
Who's the vampire guy?
Okay, so I swear this guy came in to audition for Hook, and he was a legit vampire.
He was a vampire. Or he thought he was a vampire.
So pale, hair so long.
Oh my
God. You look at his site, it was all like vampire stuff, not in a joking way. And he was very like, I am just here.
And we were like, oh, okay. Did he
might eat us?
I was like, did he read the part where this is like an uplifting, like,
yeah.
He was just like, hello.
He did canonically establish that vampires didn't exist in the world, but
it's true.
I remember one guy came in to read for Hook, and we were doing a dramatic scene. He goes, "Who wrote this? It's really funny." I was like, "It's a dramatic scene." Yeah, it's funny. Cool. You can just leave.
Which in reality, it probably really was funny. It's just actors need to know not to tell the creatives that, because sometimes they just don't get their own work. That's all.
That's true. Maybe I'm too talented.
That is it. You are pretty darn talented. I will say it was very eye-opening to sit in on auditions as an actor too, and see other people auditioning and see how much choices can affect the room, how much just your energy coming into the room affects it, and then how many times people shoot themselves in the foot doing stupid things like being late or being a jerk to the writer or what have you. And I'm like, okay, I know I'm not doing the jerk or late thing. I should be like 50% more booking just because of that. Yeah, it was really eye-opening, and just seeing sometimes somebody was such an amazing actor, but their chemistry didn't quite fit somebody else that was in a scene with them, and you're like, interesting. So not a comment on that. They're great, but just gotta fit the puzzle.
As I was
to my advantage coming in season 2, because I had Paula. Paula had everything had already been established. I had Shawn, Kyle, and Paula in the room. They had a whole season of it, and so to be able to just work with Paula right away, I felt like I gelled with her really quick. We had some quick chemistry right off the top, and I think that helped, because you know how audition rooms are. You don't always get that, so she was very giving. That was a blessing.
And for sure, not everybody is great at picking up on chemistry, and Percy's just he just oozes chemistry and charisma. And
I can echo that, having read with all the speeds. I've never had the opportunity to do chemistry reads with a bunch of actors coming in.
That was a choice that I made as a casting director. I started that back in Lizzie Bennet Diaries, and it's because I have a theater background. And
yes,
so
girl.
All the auditions that I had gone through, that's how they did it. You would come together, all the actors would be in the room, and then you'd pair people up. And I always loved that energy, because not only are you getting to see your competition, it kind of pumps you up a bit, because you're all in the room together. And so, when we got together to cast this, I asked Matt and Shawn and Kyle and the group, I was like, can we run the auditions this way? And they all let me do it. So I was like, yay.
I mean, and Graham's chemistry with so many that was good, but when it was him and Satya, it was just like, that's it.
That's the other thing.
Right now, but
sometimes you have they walked in, I narrowed it down to at least 5 guys who were really solid, and the rest is just you showing up and letting your essence just fill the room, and then that makes the decision.
There's a question from Spencer asking, hey, Graham, did you get to do chemistry reads with people auditioning for SME? I'd love to hear about that if you did.
Well, there you have it.
That's what we did.
It was fun. It was really neat to be in an audition setting with zero pressure put on me, because like I'm not making decisions, but I'm also not trying to influence the decisions. I'm there just as a fly on a wall and like a facilitator.
He was like, "Can I make out with all of them?" And we were like, "Maybe not," but you know. Teasing.
And I will say,
He was great.
as we were talking, like, you know, for all the actors out there that have to go through these auditions, I know it's so hard, but like, people are open for change. Like Brennan was saying, the original Michael, as far as the script goes, was a very different look. But Brennan nailed it so much that we're like, well, he's Michael. Like, we will change our minds on the spot, and like even, you know, add scenes, add dialogues if the actors are like this. Like they inspire us. So like all of you guys obviously inspired me, and it was just amazing to write for you.
The breakdown from John said definition of metrosexual, and I was like, no, he's a homosexual.
We just weren't
Remember the
giving that
breakdowns, I
spoiler
probably
away
wasn't
yet.
Not to toot my own horn, but I'm just gonna do it for a sec. The thing is, with Michael, I remember everyone auditioning for Michael was playing up the comedy so much and trying to be so funny. And in the end of it, I still think Michael's the heart of the show. Not the heart like the main anything, but he's always there when you need him. Literally, he's with Lily, he's with Peter, he's best friend. He loves Paula. He even befriends Hook. And I think a lot of people auditioning missed the heart of him and really hit on the funny. And I think he was a balance of both, although the funny came out a lot more.
Brennan was the least focused on improvising. Some of the dudes just riffed, and I was like checking my clock.
Right.
Oh yeah, I hate that. I mean, I love improvising. I love like, if you know your character, like something like Curb Your Enthusiasm, I would love to be on where they tell you what they need to happen during the scene and they give you, you know, ideas and stuff, but you get there on your own. And I think it's so amazing. Yeah. But people who improvise too much and go on and on and on and hit a joke 5 times and it gets stale, boring.
Yeah, and with
Matt,
Michael,
Matt, I know you were trying to talk earlier. Matt, what were your things of the auditions, like, especially as the director? Like, what do you look for?
Oh, well, I mean, a lot of the things everyone's talking about. But what I was commenting on when we were talking about the chemistry auditions is a credit to Percy, because Paula, on set, I call everybody by character name. So now I'm like, okay, wait, I'll mix them up. It's like, yeah, Paula and Peter, and it's like, who's Peter? Paula and Kyle in season 1 ended up having such great chemistry together. So it was really hard going for Hook, because we needed someone who could be a plausible no option for Wendy after we had spent a whole season building up this romance that everybody was really into. And so just a second ago, we were talking about Percy. I don't know if I ever told you this, Percy, but it was a credit to you were talking about, you know, the chemistry stuff that we saw in that. Okay, this is someone who, you know, could potentially serve as a foil, who hopefully we wanted to get people to root for both sides of that romance and not just always look at, you know, Hook as, because yeah, sure, he's the bad guy in the original text, but that was never our intention. We were like, no, it's just like, you know, our goal would have been that you didn't know who she was going to end up with, you know, if the show wasn't called Peter Pan and Wendy.
Yeah, having a bad guy that doesn't think that, I mean, bad guys in real life never think they're the bad guy.
Right.
It's the good guy in your own head. So making that choice always makes it so much more interesting.
Yeah.
And again,
so
that's what happened. People were team Hook. They were team Hook and team Pan. Like they, you know,
they were more team Hook than team Pan. Excel spreadsheet counted it out.
Yeah. Well, we smeared you a bit in season 2, Peter.
Season 2 was your darker period.
I felt the same chemistry with Paula that I had with Kyle too. I mean, it's great. It's 6 years later, and I consider these people all family and friends now. I don't get to see everybody. Lovely's over there slaying theater all over the world.
No, Lovely's traveling the world, doing some theater. Well, up until, you know, the world's a little more compacted.
I feel a great sense of favor. I've been blessed to do projects where it's not always that way, but I've unusually created a lot of family from a lot of the things I've done. And just to see us from then to now having babies and married and
can you compare us directly to Veronica Mars? Who are we?
I have more. I spend no. I have a lot of relationships.
Because, you know, we have this children named Lincoln, both. You know.
Oh yes, yes. Oh my God. No, but from the day I walked through that door till today, they were so welcoming and warm, and and embraced me like family from day one. And Matt and his guidance through it all made this one of my favorite things I've ever done, to be honest.
I was actually a little nervous because we got so tight season 1, and it was such a small group of people, and we were packed in Kyle's bedroom filming 90% of the scenes, and we got so close, literally like so close. And so when I knew there was going to be cast members coming in, I wasn't nervous, like, get them out of here. But I thought maybe we were going to be too cliquey or something wasn't going to vibe. But Percy, you fit in so well and so easy. It was amazing. It was so good. And it could have been so awkward and weird and iffy. And you jumped in it and you were game from the beginning. And I think that's what was, because our scenes and our sets weren't we all had to kind of do a little bit more than just our job, and we had to pile in smaller rooms and stuff, and some people might not be game for that, and Percy, you were all for it, and I think that helped. I don't know, you were a perfect fit, and I love you!
I love you too! How could you not be? Because when you walk in, man, Kevin, when you walk into this environment, these people are like way tougher than their tough days. When you see, like, they're inspiring to now, because when you see what they created with what they had and the kind of talented people who are all hands on deck. I mean, there were moments when I'm probably changing clothes with my back turned next to Lovely, next to Satya, getting to know each other. Go out there, and just, but I mean, when you get there, just the energy.
And holding a light while we do it. No, I'm kidding.
The passion for what they were doing, man, you had no choice but to want to, be ingratiated in that environment. And
it was fun too. Even Jim Beaver was all for it, and acting was so fun. I only had like a scene or two with him and Graham, but it was one of my favorites, and I had so much fun with him.
Yeah, I wasn't.
That he was able to do that and wanted to. He's a newly married gent at the moment, and
Jim is. Anyone else Facebook friends with him? Because his Facebook posts are. I love him. I don't know if anyone's.
I love Jim. Yeah.
As do I.
Well, I think Jim and I are doing a play together.
What?
Are you really? Hell yeah.
Yeah. Matt's producing a play, and it's a brand new play. Huh? What'd you say, Shawn?
For those who didn't know, Matt's your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Not this man.
And yeah, so Jim is gonna, I think he's at least gonna do the reading, and I'm in the reading, and so.
Oh, good. You guys got in touch via his reps. Good.
Yes. Thank you, dude.
What's happening though with your other show, Lovely? Or is it gonna continue when this?
Right, you were doing a national tour, right?
Yeah, man, that show, God, that had so I did a national tour with LA Theater Works called 7. It was a documentary style play, and because they do radio plays, that's what LA Theater Works is known for. And this was one of their touring productions, and it was such a good play, and it's so sad that, COVID-19 shut us down. So I don't think so. I don't think there was just so much lost. There was so much money that was lost. So I don't think they're going to be able to bring it back. But which really sucks, because we were right in the middle of the tour. Like, it was the middle of March, and then we were on stage that night, and within a few hours they were like, "We're sending you home."
Jeez.
And it was like, we knew that it was going to be our last show, but none of us were prepared emotionally. And so I was like crying on the plane home. I cried for the next 3 days. I was just a mess, but
Can you imagine even all the, like, my heart's been breaking for you guys, for all the, like, this high school seniors who don't get to do their last play, their prom, their graduation, the sweethearts that are like, when you're at that age, you're like, I can't be away from this human. And yet, humans,
well, especially when you're at that age, like in high school, when that's all that matters, right? You're not dealing with bills or, mortgages, like that's all, the relationships are all that matter. And so, yeah, man, it's crazy times, but I think we'll bounce back from this. I've been talking to a few people, and I think we're all gonna come out on the better end of this, and it's hard to say that with so many deaths and everything, and not to bring the mood down, but it's just, I think we're gonna rise above,
Wow.
We'll make it through.
We are.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Here's to LeBron James and Barack Obama for helping these kids have an option for the prom, man.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
I think it started with someone like tweeting at him and just asking him and saying like, "Hey, you should do this," and then a petition happened, and it's all
The
from
power of the tweet, man. It can be real.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, let's talk to Emmett about the power of his tweets on the show. There's been some chatter in the chat room about how amazingly you captured the voices of all the characters. Can you talk a little bit about how you were able to do that so well? Did you like have a brain meld with like Kyle and the other writers on like how these characters are going to act in all situations and then just go for it? Or did you read like all the seasons and then right from that? Or what was your secret?
It was all of that. I mean, we certainly in the first season we had weekly sort of production meetings, and there was a transmedia component to every one of those, and we had meetings ongoing. It's just in the future season we didn't necessarily have one every week. And then I wasn't involved in the casting, but this cast made it very easy for me to find the character voices. Like once I saw them, in the show, I was made my job easy. And yes, but yes, I do talk to myself on Twitter a lot in this, and only probably once or twice did I ever did the wrong person tweet a thing that was then immediately
delete. delete.
Sure, somebody caught that, but yeah.
And if you don't know, Emmett has many skills, including karaoke.
He's very good at
Oh my
karaoke.
God, Emmett's voice is beautiful.
Wow.
Karaoke then?
Can you perform any karaoke for us now?
Oh my
Later
God.
on?
Kevin, that's what you want to see in your life. Emmett, Jenny. Jenny's got some skills too. Don't sleep on Jenny.
Oh, that's on a boat.
I like to rap.
Ooh,
Me too.
we could totally turn this into a rap music session later on.
No, there actually was one of the, I forget if it was a season premiere party for season 2 or something. At some point the party ended and karaoke night at that bar began.
So we just stayed.
And I was like, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Totally.
And then thanks to
My go-to duet is Changes with Bowie and Freddie Mercury. He takes the higher part.
Yes. That is
Spencer in the chat wants to know everyone's go-to karaoke song and what your character's go-to karaoke song would be if it's different from yours. You want to take
That's
that?
good.
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
I'm not a
Sit on the
gifted
road.
singer.
For me, mine is Meatloaf. I Do Anything for Love is my go-to karaoke song just because it's about yelling, and that's about as good a singing I can do.
I like it.
And my
it's long you get to
character-
perform. Good job, Shawn. I'd see that.
And then whoever's next. That's my go-to karaoke song.
I guess my kind of biggest go-to in the long run is Not Afraid by Eminem, because if you haven't seen it, then that's the one you need to see. Nobody expects it from me, so that makes it,
The unexpected.
80s hair metal, so Sister Christian by Night Ranger is my first go-to. John's would definitely be Ella Fitzgerald's Come Rain or Come Shine Down the Octave.
So specific. I love it.
Babe,
I don't do karaoke. I'm not a karaoke person, but if I had to, I'd probably do That's Life by Frank Sinatra, or You've Made Me So Very Happy by Blood, Sweat, and Tears, maybe. And then Michael would maybe sing, what's a song with one word in it the whole time? Or
Tequila.
or Tiger, Tequila. Yeah, one of those.
Macarena? No.
Macarena. Eye of the Tiger.
No, that has words.
That's words. It does.
Oh, yeah. I can Yeah,
Bunch of REM.
Shawn, was Eye of the Tiger in an episode? I kind of remember me
I'm
saying.
not legally allowed to use that, so no.
It was never in the episode.
We have a gifted
Listen up the
composer.
kids, and that's the
I think my normal, I am not a very good singer. Those gods passed me by. But
Lies.
usually do a duet of Somewhere Out There if I'm good at karaoke. But I don't know. What would Wendy's be, guys? What's something about telling a story, or what books do you got? Anybody got ideas?
What about a Joan Baez song?
Oh, that'd be interesting.
I don't know.
Tin Soldier. I don't know.
Oh, maybe or maybe something a little.
Love is a battlefield.
Yeah.
Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
I lied to you. Pat
that's
Benatar
good.
would be a second for anything.
Oh, that would be a fun crossover. Somebody suggested maybe a Beauty and the Beast. I could get a bell song for Wendy. I like.
Oh yeah,
I'm mad at it.
totally.
All right, and now that TikTok is
I don't think they
popular,
haven't answered yet.
now that TikTok is popular these days, which of your characters would actually be on TikTok, and what would they be doing on TikTok? Dancing, singing?
I'd be
Carry
on
that
it
further.
100% nonstop. I wouldn't turn it off. It would just be TikTok on 247.
That's just, yeah.
Everything.
I'll be
Wait,
honest, if
does
I had to play the
everybody have
characters on
TikTok
TikTok,
but
I don't
me?
have TikTok. I think if I got
No.
TikTok, I would go insane and only do TikTok. So I can't.
I'm with you, Brennan. I don't have TikTok. I'm so old
Yeah,
and out
no.
of it. Like,
Right.
I don't have TikTok.
Okay, we get it. You don't have TikTok. Yes, I got it. That's great.
I was
But actually,
gonna
your
say,
characters would be on TikTok. It would be.
Well,
I
would,
had to
would
play
your
these characters
character
on
be on
TikTok.
TikTok?
I
Willie
would not
be
have
on
done as well.
TikTok.
And then Hook's Empire would own TikTok and be like, hey, Hook.
That's it. I would just be if TikTok had ads, I would run.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep.
I
Yep.
love that.
I am ambivalent about TikTok, but John would absolutely hate it, but end up on it anyways because Michael would be chasing him, trying to get him on.
Totally
Reluctant
true.
TikToker. That
Totally
would be
true. I in quarantine, I've been viewing and maybe doing a few TikToks, which is why I asked that question. And everyone in the chat agrees that yes, Michael would totally be like the TikTok guy of all the characters. So yeah,
I think he invented TikTok, actually.
there we go.
I would love to see Brennan on. I don't want you to give in to temptation, Brennan. It's not gonna help, but I would love to see you on TikTok.
Actually, I would love to see you on TikTok, Brennan.
No
You just
joke,
do it.
no joke. I keep
We
getting
will
random
lose him
like, friends
forever.
will
We
be like,
can't
why are
let
you
him do
doing
that.
dances on TikTok? And I'm like, if I get on, I will not get off. And I
Are you right now, Michael?
Michael, you already got Brennan. You already got the moves. You could do that like this move that you did at that one.
yeah,
move.
no, I got the move. I still got my dress up there somewhere too, so I'll put on the dress and I'll do some.
Kevin, that was amazing. That made my day, Kevin.
Oh, I saw that move that Brennan did. It was great. So, if everyone else feels like dancing, that's totally fine. That's fine. And then some of the drag
Oh,
race.
what about you? What is Peter Pan's stance on TikTok?
Yeah, Pan.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I forgot you were here.
Jesus.
Thanks, Michael.
Hey.
I mean, Peter Pan would love TikTok.
He would. Yeah.
I'm a new dad. I don't even have a phone anymore.
What?
Your kids are probably on TikTok.
Yeah, Caleb probably has a TikTok.
On TikTok.
He's not old enough to have broken it yet. That comes soon.
That's why it's put away, because he's just preparing.
I mean,
like,
she's not mobile yet. You're still in the easy phase.
She's advanced. She grabs my phone and she'll text Shawn and then Shawn will text back. I'm like, no, that wasn't
She's
me.
very smart. She's very mad at Kyle right
Yeah.
Wow.
I get
He's never
dialed by my niece all the time now.
now. Yeah.
how old is your niece?
Wait, one is 2, the other is
Oh, okay.
like 5 months. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Spencer says,
I just want to see, what is everyone most excited, like what do they miss, one thing they miss the most, like they want to do when we can do it, when it's totally safe and blah blah blah, but what's one thing you miss? Like for me it's bowling. I really miss bowling. I really miss bowling.
Bowling sometime.
But yeah, I'll kick your ass.
Unless they're bumpers.
Duh. No, but is there something that like I don't know.
Yeah.
Something you guys miss doing?
Yeah, what do you miss doing that you want to get back to after this whole quarantine thing?
Daycare. I miss preschool so much. I can't even tell you.
I teach film school, and I really miss being in the room with my students, because we switched to online learning, so I do get to see them, but like there's just something about the energy of like being in the room together, working together, that I really, really miss.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I miss 1 a.m. grocery shopping.
Oh yeah. I hate when grocery
Like-
stores close at like 9 o'clock.
Or 6.
I get why, but also I don't want to be with all these people while I'm trying to get my frozen broccoli. Go away.
The first thing I do when this is over is I'll probably go fishing, man. I miss getting on the lake with my dad. that's my sanctuary. That's my place of peace. Sometimes that's my unwind. So first thing I do is I'm hitting the lake, and then I'm gonna make the missus happy, and I'm gonna take her to the beach because for about 12 years she said, "Take me to the beach more. I'll be a happy girl," and I definitely got to do more of that. This made me realize that. So yeah, but yeah, the lake and the beach, man.
Yeah.
In February, one of the last big things I did was I finally bit the bullet and joined my first LARP, and it is one of my favorite things now. It's like everything I love about tabletop role playing and immersive theater, like combined into one thing. It's like nerding, man. Like other people go and like camp in the desert to like go to a music festival, and I go to like play like an elf for 40 hours, I guess. Apparently that's a thing that I like to do. And I like, facilitating role play, but I also like to do it sometimes.
I make fun, but having been to Burning Man twice, I think I would still prefer to do your LARPing, nerding
LARPing's
man.
awesome. That's why I did a graphic novel on for Dark Horse. It was called LARP.
Ooh,
yeah, that's right.
I did not know that. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then what is everyone doing with their quarantine time or additional hours, whether it's
Or lack thereof.
or lack thereof, right? Are you finding are you I don't know, I guess not on TikTok, but are you cooking more or hanging out with family more or chasing the kids around the house more or
Slowly descending into madness.
What else is that?
I was 6 months into training to be a yoga teacher when this happened. But my studio, like I train at this little studio in Toluca Lake called the Yogi Tree, and the woman that owns it, she's one of my teachers. She's just incredible. She just jumped and went, "We're putting everything virtually because I don't want people to miss out on their practice just because this is happening." So she knew nothing about Zoom, nothing about going digital, and to watch her just jump to it for our community to make sure we still had a way to practice.
That's awesome.
I've been still taking yoga classes 5 days a week, and I couldn't have done it if it weren't for her. So
yeah, she's amazing. We actually had her on a virtual yoga panel.
Yeah.
Jenny was on that, or Jen was on that panel, and she was amazing. Yeah, it was very
yeah. So that's been incredible. Saved my life, really.
I'm reading a lot, and I'm doing a lot of Legos.
Whoa! Friends Lego? I've never even seen that before.
It is a Friends Lego set of Central Perk for their like 30th anniversary, and it's so detailed. I'm almost. It's insanely detailed. Look at this.
Oh my God!
It's incredible.
How do the characters look? Where's Lego Joey?
Rachel.
Oh, it's Rachel. Oh my God.
Joey with Joey with a pizza box.
Oh, that's a little racist.
Chandler with a briefcase or like a laptop, I guess. And we got Gunther with a broom.
Wait, I was gonna ask, there's
Gunther. Wow.
Yeah, and so there's still 3 more packages I have to open up with Monica, Ross, and Phoebe. And they all come with like 3 different props. And it's insane. This can't be for kids. It can't. There's no way. It costs too much. And there's
I have no idea.
And you are a kid.
Is Smelly Cat in there?
Was Marcel?
Yeah, Smelly Cat is there. No, Graham, they literally go like so detailed to the point where they even have Ross's keyboard.
Wow.
It's really insane. It's really awesome. So if you have a couple
Bobby Legos.
I don't know what I'm nervous about is I don't know what I'm supposed to do after I build them. And so I'm trying to save building them for a while. So I only build
the Lego movie?
Yeah, I love it. It's great. I didn't see the new one.
Yeah, well, you don't.
I have a Legoland annual pass. Anybody wants to go with your kids and bring your Legos, I'm down. So
my son would love to Zoom with you and build Legos, man. If you ever get bored, he's a Lego engineer. And I do the same thing as you. I'm like, so he creates them and then he leaves them on the kitchen table and I look at my wife like, so what are we gonna?
It's called art. What do you want to do after painting? It's called art.
I was thinking about doing kind of a thing, when people like make puzzles and then they'll take it apart and give it to someone to make again. I was thinking I could do that with a Lego where you can build it and then take it apart and give it to someone, they can build it. But seems like a lot of work. I'll just put it in a closet or something.
You can eBay them. They have pretty decent resale value.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Let's say we place a call to Lego and they approve a New Adventures of Peter and Wendy Lego set. What would your characters' accessories be?
Oh, I love that.
Laptop and Red Bull.
I'd probably have to have a vlogging camera.
Oh, for sure.
What else? I don't know.
I definitely have this.
Oh, right.
And
a notebook. Yes, good call.
Notebook. Thank you.
Or
maybe a banana.
Someone mentioned the book Wendy wrote.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good one.
Upgrade. We're gonna have to buy per season tax.
Let's see. Adam says Lily would have cash. Lily would have like the accessory helicopters, the accessory Malibu beach house, the accessory.
And one of those metal boxes. The elevator.
What was it? We had like a rhino shark fight. Like she'd have those with her.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Wait, so my friend texted me and she was like, before I got on, she was like, by the way, they're joking because you can't figure it out. Something about my mini computers.
That you had 300 computers, but you don't know how to run any of them.
And your assistants are not living with you.
Guys, I feel like I'm not part of this century half the time. I feel like this quarantine has put me in this like Lego box and I don't know how to get out.
That's okay. Play with the Lego accessories. It's fine.
It might be better and safer in the Lego box anyways. Just wait it out a bit, and then we'll pry you out after a while. But no, Lily, I kind of feel like the same. Oh, I just called you Lily. Sorry, lovely.
I love it.
I love you. I think I call people their character, I think, on set.
Yeah, you definitely did.
Yeah, for sure. I
Especially when we were smooching.
I don't think I knew your real name the first season. I was like, it can't be Lovely. There's no way it's Lovely. And I thought people were just like, she's lovely. I was like, I don't know her name.
Yeah, you did.
John Darling has to have like an interchangeable head for when he like goes crazy with the mop.
Oh, the clean.
When he went crazy, he's got the face paint. He's like, "It must be clean." Like you have to have that.
That's a Comic-Con special. You have to get that figure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, we all would have shots of tink juice, or what was it?
Pan punch.
Pan punch.
Pan punch. Pan punch.
I have an entire refrigerator covered with magnets of just me beckoning Smee without a shirt on. They're extras, and I don't want to pay for magnets. So.
And then the Percy.
The different shows on TV now.
Yeah.
Graham, we made a magnet of you where you're topless and it's like the world must be clean. And my mom uses that. She puts that on the dishwasher when it's clean so that they know to unload it.
That's awesome.
We do the same thing in our house. We still have that magnet on the washing.
All right, this is a good next question. Since we're all at home, this is something that we could not do at a real live event panel on stage because you wouldn't be at home. But since we are at home, does anyone have any memorabilia, whether it's magnets or stickers or clothing or any accessories from the actual show that you can find in your closet right now in a New Adventures of Peter and Wendy scavenger hunt? You have 30 seconds to go get something from the show. Something from the show.
Oh, no.
All right, I'm going
and go.
I know.
Oh, wait, from the show.
I have to run inside to the other house.
That's fine. We got time, Paula.
But I've got a shirt. I'm wearing this dress that I had on in season.
Oh, very cool.
And I had the banners, the Team Hook and the Team Pan banners. Wow. They make a special appearance in my film if you guys can find them.
Very nice. All right, Graham is back first. Graham, what do you have? All right, Graham has.
I got 2 John suits.
All right, still got the John suits.
They're very functional.
Have you worn them since?
Of course.
All right, very cool.
Yeah, any number of like.
Oh my God! There's
what Michael slept in every night, never watched it once, and this is his thing.
That was so quick, Brennan. How did
you get in that so quick?
Oh, because this is what I've been wearing during quarantine. It was right on my bed.
Did you have pants on before when you're?
Hey, mind your own business, lovely.
How did you get changed so fast?
I'm not Graham beat me though.
Oh, we love them. They're now your quarantine onesies.
Oh, and those
Oh,
the napkins.
my
You just have a
Oh
billion
my
napkins.
goodness.
This is one
What
of
is that?
Percy's
Show us
sweaters.
that again,
Look
Greg.
Look, costume.
They're on the side of my fridge so no one can see them, except for a couple that are actually holding up pictures.
Hey,
All right, very cool.
Percy,
Check it out.
do
Here
you not
goes.
have anything or what?
All right, what
Darren?
is Percy? Percy, what do you got?
Oh yeah.
Oh, the sweater. Oh, that's
I
right.
got two of the.
I love
two.
that sweater.
Yeah, I got two of the
It took
6
Percy
sweaters that I
longer.
stole. I mean, bought.
It took Percy longer because he has such a big house. He had to go all the way to the west wing to get to his closet. His house is so big.
No,
You
not
just
the
had to
front.
reach. You just had to reach and grab whatever because it's all in distance. He had to actually leave the room.
I was just trying not to tell on myself. I was trying not to show the entire wardrobe that that I got.
Did anyone keep the watch? His watch?
I didn't keep the watch.
You have that, Percy?
We
You have the watch?
off in a Kickstarter to get some.
Oh, that's right. It was a Kickstarter perk.
Oh.
Oh, wow, cool.
I think
Someone
I have
does
a
have.
bracelet that Wendy gave Peter, the thimble bracelet. I kept one of those.
Oh, look what
Oh,
Jenny
I got-
has.
Paula, remember you gave the whole cast the thimble
Yes, I
bracelet,
still have
and
my
I have it hanging in my
necklace.
room.
I have my thimble
Yeah,
necklace too.
Yeah, I definitely have it.
I got the domo.
Oh, nice. The domo.
He was just like a background actor, but it was one of the things we got from Loot Crate, and I loved it so much that I got it.
He was also the main financiers. So.
Oh, Loot Crate died.
All right, and what do you have, Emmett?
Oh, look at that! Oh yeah, the picture your mom made.
Yeah. This one we got an IAW TV award for best transmedia experience at one point, and we went to Vegas to accept, and that was just all on stage.
Vegas was fun.
Paula, you won
When I
that.
showed to Vegas, Emmett and Kyle had saxophones full of booze.
That's
Oh,
right.
Hold on.
I didn't win. I was nominated, but I didn't win that year.
Oh, sorry.
But it was fun. I was super pregnant. I was like 5 months pregnant. And
Oh, I
it
remember the
really
break-
hurt to wear heels by then and to walk a lot. And everything was super far away. And so I didn't go up to the parties afterwards. We just went up to the room. And I was so sad because that darn casino didn't have any like food in the casino for some reason after 10. And I was starving. I was like, Charlie, go somewhere and get food for the pregnant lady. It was
You guys ever made these?
yeah.
Oh yeah, those guys.
Which you made those for us again?
Katie Campshire.
Yes, Katie.
And I have mine too inside. Lincoln plays with it.
Oh, I love it. It's so sweet. And she has bigger ones too. I actually almost
We had the puppet ones, so we did
buy
a
them from her.
episode with the puppet ones.
Yeah, what happened? You have the puppets?
My mom bought some of the puppets, and my nephews would play with them.
Yay!
Emmett, you have something that you want to show too?
Well, I showed the photo, and then I showed the saxophone full of booze that was
We were referring to.
from the Circus. But I did also want to say, as far as like, everybody being stuck at home, like, this kind of Twitter storytelling, like my brother and I did a project where we had like more than 70 different character accounts, and we had this, like, there's literally nothing stopping any of you who are watching from going and telling a story on Twitter right now. It doesn't require any production or acting. It's just, so, and that is the only way, like, social media didn't exist growing up. So if anybody has like aspirations in that regard, you just have to do it. That's just, and that's kind of how I got to wherever I am was by going and doing crazy stuff with folks like these. So.
And even this medium right now, I've been reached out to by a couple of big companies that want to make shows using Zoom, because it's what we can shoot right now. So they're going back into that whole blog.
As a Zoom, and I know a friend has already shot a national SAG commercial that was just Zoom. They're now asking like what equipment you have, what cameras, what lighting you have, wanting to see your cinematography skills. It's like, cool, you just need one person studios now. Fantastic. Yeah.
Which means I collect unemployment.
Kyle, did you find anything?
Are you kidding?
Wait, you have. I see something in the background right now that was on the show.
Yep.
Like 30% of the show was filmed in my apartment. So everything I own was probably in the show.
The Dalek was on the show.
What?
The Dalek.
Oh yeah, the Dalek.
Yeah, Dalek is definitely there. You go. You got the Dalek right there.
That's our award.
This is an award we won from the Geeky Awards for best.
Oh,
web.
very cool.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I always
Yeah,
thought that
IWTV award is
was an award thing. It was so neat.
That was a fun night.
That was.
Was
And
that
Kyle,
at the,
you could
was
say,
that at
I don't
the,
know.
hotel downtown the where was it?
Great. Great story, Brendan. Great start. Great end. All great.
I'm drunk.
Great.
That's fine. Everyone should take a drink. So.
Great.
Oh, I need mine.
All right, let's see. Let's.
Well, I'll have that. This is less interesting in terms of the set, but I have the shoot. Well, it doesn't show up unless I
Is it green? What's happening?
It's the same color as your wall. That's why.
It's the shooting script from all 3 seasons. I kept all the things that I gave all the notes for and every single blockings and everything. So I didn't have as much of the set, but I have that. And I was saying, Kyle, if he doesn't have anything though, the bust that he carved of J.M. Barrie, I don't know if you want to give your old address, but I know when he moved, he kind of hid it in the front of where he lived. And as of like a couple months ago, it's still there. It just adorns the streets of Hollywood.
What? I'll take it.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Do you want to go get it?
Yeah.
No, not to get it.
I would.
It's like it looks
like 3 years ago.
I put it out for nature to ruin, and it's there for you.
I'm grabbing it.
But I was saying it could be like a scavenger hunt. Like we could have people, we could guide people to it. And then it's,
Oh, that's cool.
That's some homeless person's dad now. We can't do that.
Awesome. So
Yeah,
Matthew, you go ahead, Brennan.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say because we all, gave each other kisses. The cast, all blah blah blah. Matt, you were incredible as a director. Honestly, you were so involved, and every question I asked, you had an actual answer. It was refreshing having a director like you. Sometimes you get directors that are more focused on the camera than what's in front of the camera, and that you have to too. It's technical too, but you were so there and so present every day, literally every day. Even questions that I didn't have myself, you would come and ask me, and I'd be like, oh, I didn't even think about that. But you were so good. You were really awesome to work with, and so the cast was great, and we blended really well. But the chemistry wouldn't work if we didn't have the chemistry with you either. So
yeah, man.
True.
I remember you bringing your script all the time too, and it was just like written on and folded and just all the time. But yeah, love you. Love you too.
Love you too.
Wow, you had to answer for him because he didn't answer in 1 second.
What's that?
No, but Matt, man, really, when you held up the pages, I was hoping that the page you held up wasn't a scene with a bunch of hook stuff because they would have saw all the notes and red marks you probably.
Why did we cast this? Can we recast? Can we recast?
You were so patient, man. That was my first time ever doing something like that with, looking directly into the camera and the different camera angles and setups and the tone of the show. It was a new experience for me, man. And you were just so patient, man, and guided me so well to bring out one of the things I'm most proud of that I've done. So, man, and I couldn't have done it without you, bro. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you. I love all you guys. That's so
Firstly,
nice.
whatever you felt, we felt the first season doing it, talking to camera and stuff. I remember Matt would be like, "He's there. Tink is there. Talk to Tink. Talk to Tink." Like it took us. It definitely wasn't easy, but yeah, we all got there, and it was. And I actually, in the end, I remember filming something right after Peter and Wendy. And it was so friggin' hard not to look at the camera. Now I'm like, now it's there. And now it was so easy. Like I didn't have to pretend this big hunk of metal wasn't 2 feet in front of my face while I'm crying, acting a scene. And so like, it was another character. And then it was a weird transition. I gotta tell you, there were some times where I was like, shit, if they look back, I definitely.
Was there an audio cue for Tink at all, or did someone voice Tink?
Shawn did.
I would say things for them to respond to.
Yeah.
Like this.
It was so short. It was always so
Can you demo some of that, Shawn?
Yes,
Please.
Sure. Like this is basically what I'd say. So do like.
What's great is that I asked Shawn to like cue my next line so that I would know what to say.
And depending on like what time of day it was, I would either like say the real line to get him like to prompt him, or I'd be like, You look stupid. I'm tired.
You guys have ever seen those few clips where David Prowse is British voice is coming out of the Chewbacca suit in like the scenes before they put in the sounds? Sounds like that.
Oh yes. You know, it was interesting. I started talking before I knew what I was going to say.
There's a question from the audience. What are your favorite scenes from the episodes, all the seasons?
Sweet golly.
My favorite dramatic scene was Graham and Jim, season 2.
Season 23.
But Jim and that scene for me was my favorite from a dramatic standpoint. Comedic wise is tied between Percy and Kyle's I'll date you off, and I think literally the episode where it's season 1 where everyone is drunk afterward. I just love that whole thing where everyone's just wasted in the bedroom together, or in Kyle's living room together. That's just super fun.
I actually think that was at my house.
That was at Jenny's season 1. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Right before Jenny's honeymoon, when we went in and pranked it.
Yeah.
Right.
My house got pranked when I went on my honeymoon. It was amazing. We came home and we're like, what is going on?
We got blood powder so that in their shower, when you turn on the water, it's just white. You don't notice it. But then as soon as you add water, it goes like blood red everywhere.
It was so weird.
Soap on the mirror, like help me with tiny little handprints on the like backwards though. And then, like bloody handprints crawling out from underneath their crawl space. And put some like cans in the attic with a string that triggered, so it's all like. Anyway, we had a lot.
And we had our honeymoon in Ireland. So like when we got back, we're like totally jet lagged. We're exhausted from traveling, and we're just like, what's going on with the house?
Like, it was done out of love because at one point Jenny had tweeted that she wished they could honeymoon in a haunted house. But we might have gone overboard.
Paula's prank dragon went overboard a couple times throughout 3 seasons.
Too funny.
Do the fans know about Prank Dragon? I don't know that have we ever explained Prank Dragon to the fans?
Prank Dragon is what Paula calls pranks, and that's who her alternate identity is Prank Dragon.
I think there's a real dragon, Shawn.
She's a real dragon.
I mean, you don't know there's not.
The dragon did it.
Yeah, dragon did it.
Paula was
Dragon. Gnomes, and we had some fun. Oh, is someone coming in? Maybe. I hear the unlock. Who's it gonna be? It's a Lincoln. Hi, buddy.
Kyle, what was your favorite scenes?
Yeah, Kyle.
Hey, there's Lincoln. Hey, Lincoln, how are you? We've learned that Lincoln has been climbing. Lincoln, good job climbing on stuff. Mom did it to get her job on the show, so works for you too.
Wow. Yes.
Hi, Lincoln. Hi.
There's a CI outlet there. You don't need to point that out. It's fine. He's really into outlets and smoke detectors these days, guys. Just gotta go with what they like. It's fine.
All right, Kyle, I know you're trying to say something. What you got, bud?
Okay.
Kyle, what's your favorite scenes?
Well, I enjoyed all of it. Being both in it and out of it. Shut up, Shawn. The 2 scenes that I like really enjoyed as an actor were with Paula, who is now left, so I get to.
Yeah.
The end of season 1 and the end of season 3, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
I get to be goofy actor Kyle all the other time, but those were the moments where it was like, man, you got to step it up, Kyle, to be with this actress who's going to make you look awesome, but you also got to be awesome. And it was 2 like relationship defining moments that I feel like, I don't know, maybe you don't necessarily, or I don't know if you see it on TV or not, but it was like I got to create these moments that felt very, very fudging real. And I don't know. Those were those.
I like that. Percy, what about you?
That's hard, man. I think some of my personal favorites are definitely ones that I'm watching you guys work. This is a great cast, man. So I love Kyle's stuff when he's by himself and he's doing all the characters. I like when Lily walked in and she was kind of into. I just rewatched some of this stuff, so it's hard to pick one because I just rewatched it. And you guys are great, man. I mean, one of my personal favorites, because I'm a sap and it has nothing to do with performance. It's one of that pops in my head because I remember it was the only scene I was in with everybody, and that's when we had the party. And I got to interact with all of the actors on the same day. We were all on the set. So
That was a fun day.
That was a fun day. I talked to Michael and John in the kitchen, and then I go interact with Wendy and Peter and Lily. So I just spent the whole day with everybody. So that's one of my most memorable, I guess.
One of the hardest days for Matt, I know.
Well, I was gonna say that was one of my, as a memory, that was one of my favorite too, because we were there late at this cool apartment. There was like a little roof area, and like when we weren't shooting, everybody could hang out. Everyone was there. We all got to like chat and hang out, and it was like right in the middle, so it wasn't like the oh no, we're over sadness, and it wasn't like, oh my gosh, we're beginning madness. It was like this weird, like right in the middle place. And so actually, I agree with you. That was one of my favorite to shoot for sure.
Yeah. You remember that a building got set on fire?
The building caught on fire.
Caught on fire. Not caught on fire. It was arsenic. Arsenic.
Arsenic.
It was arsenic.
It was arsenic.
And lace.
Arsenic.
Our makeup, one of our makeup people who had to leave early, basically got caught in it. Like they were in the process
highway,
of shutting the highway down because the fire was coming towards the highway, and she texted and she's like, guys, just so you know, when you wrap, be careful. There's a building on fire.
Yeah.
And then we all ran outside, and you could see it from where we were shooting.
From because it was like the tops. It was like a 14,
like a
13 story building.
It was a penthouse suite. It belonged to I was working at New Media Rockstars at the time, and our boss owned it and was nice enough to let us shoot both in the office at New Media Rockstars and in his personal living space, which was like a block away. So it was like this magical, everything we needed for the season.
It just worked out so well.
A block. It was so amazing.
A lot of stars aligned for this. All over
I'll
the
say
place.
Bex is saying right here that Michael turned up with carrots. That was one of my favorite additions that Matt added. It was like, I want to give Michael something to bring to Wendy. And John was bringing flowers, and Michael brought this bouquet of carrots.
Carrots. Oh my God.
Perfect.
Yes, I was gonna say I loved the scene in the kid. This is just a line or two, but it always stuck with me because I thought it was so funny. The line between me and Graham, after Hook says, "Hey, I love your newspaper, and I love your Dear Darling," and I go to Graham and I'm like, "Do you watch my Dear Darling?" He's like, "No." "Do you read my newspaper?" "No." And we click, and I think it's so funny, so cute, and it was that moment when I don't know why, but those two lines. You don't remember paper, do you know? You don't watch my shows, do you know? Oh, it's so good.
So good.
But anything I did with Paula, I think because the scenes with you, I think a lot of people but the scenes with you were funny at times and definitely had that. But a lot of scenes I had with you were more of the heartfelt scenes. And I really enjoyed those because fun is funny and I definitely like those. But those moments where you and I just get to like sit there and put our head on each other's shoulders and just say nothing for a minute was my favorite.
I really lucked out in that I got to have those moments with a couple of you. Shawn wrote like heart connecting moments to the siblings, and each one is just so special.
I know. I really after it, I'm not kidding, and Graham for you too. But I really felt so connected to you and Graham. Like I really, really did. I really felt. I don't know what it was, and it wasn't something that was like forced. And it wasn't something that I would plan. It just like one day clicked, and I really connected to you guys. There's something, I don't know, motherly, but in the same time friendship. And like it was very, the dynamic was awesome, and it made it so easy to go funny, dramatic, sad, scary.
Oh, I hug you now with my boobs.
Gym hug.
One of my favorites from Lovely, I know, was when she was trying to assimilate back into normal life, and she's like, quarters.
Becoming a muggle? Yes.
So what was some of your faves, love?
Well,
What were some of your least favorites? Try that first.
I think it's Brennan.
Just kidding. No, I just have to say, to Shawn and Kyle, you guys have created, like Lily, you know, she was one of the smaller characters, and that, not small because she was in all 3 seasons, but, you know, just she wasn't part of the family, right? Like, she was obviously, but I think you guys did such a great job of building her arc. And that was one thing Shawn and I talked about, and Matt too, you know, when you were directing me, Matt, like, I thought you and I had some really good conversations about how Lily comes to be this great person, you know, and she starts in season 1 as this kind of, you know, it's easy to classify her as a bitch, and obviously I would never say that about her, but she is this all business focused. She wants Peter, and then second season we kind of see her and Hook have this, you know, thing going, and then by third season she's with Michael, and she's completely just lost that veneer of the toughness and the business mind. And so what else I was going to say was some of my favorite scenes were with you, Brennan, and I say that because, you know, not everybody knows, but Brennan and I had such an interesting relationship that I won't go too much into. But,
I bring it up every day.
Brennan, you know I love you. I love you so much. But I really enjoyed my scenes with you in third season because you have such an honesty behind your eyes. And everybody knows you're like, you know, fun, and you can be so hilarious and you have a boisterous laugh. But when you're really like connected and acting in the scene, it is so powerful. I just felt like my scenes with you were so connected, and I felt everything that you were giving me. You're such a giving actor, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I really enjoyed my scenes with you.
I love that, Lily. And I was literally just gonna say that too. I was gonna, we work differently. We go about every line and character and scene and moment differently. The things you ask Matt, I'm like, why are you asking Matt that? What does it matter? But that's what connected us so well, because we came from complete difference, but we got to the exact honest point every time. And I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that.
I have a question for you actors out there. Are any of the scenes from the show on your reels currently? And if so, which ones?
Oh, well, can I just take a second to share my favorite scenes real quick, and then we'll get to that? Because I just wanted to give some real love to the scenes between Satya and Graham. The Smee John Darling relationship was probably one of my favorite parts of the whole production, right, yeah. And especially working with Shawn and talking about how it was really important to us that in season 1 we didn't want to call out that John was gay, because it's just he happened to be, and it was always really important to us that we didn't want to be like, let's make this gay relationship. It was always 2 people that fell in love, and it was so beautiful to watch. And like every time they were together, I like literally would just be like, oh my God. And Satya did such a wonderful job, and he really, really wanted to be here, but he is actually he's rehearsing for a play that he's in, a Zoom play. So they had like a big, really big rehearsal day. So
Zooms.
Yeah, I know. But I know he really, really, really like he's with us in spirit and really wanted to be here.
I'm so proud of him, kicking butt, doing all the directing.
He's directing TV shows too. Graham, what was some of your favorites?
My favorite was Smee, Come to Me.
Yeah.
That was.
I mean, you add glitter and everything's better.
But that was.
We were fanning Graham in the room.
Weeks of preparation, at least an hour of makeup, interns fanning me for a 2-second bit. I love that. All this preparation for something with like, just for that tiny bit of payoff. I love that.
Yeah. One of my first memories of Graham is after we cast everybody, we were at the table, and I was kind of like, because I knew that I'd written a shirtless scene for the character, and I wanted to make sure he was okay with it. So I was like, Graham, are you okay with it? And Graham goes, do you want views or not? And walked away. Yes, okay, great, let's do this.
I just wanted to touch on something lovely. You mentioned that you would never call Lily a bitch yourself, and that's such an interesting thing to think. As an actor, you have to advocate for your character no matter what and who they are. In the end, when you're playing a character, you have to love them, and they're not wrong because they wouldn't be doing the wrong thing because they think they're doing it right. And I think it's so fun to play characters that are not you, or that you obviously, if you met in real life, wouldn't wouldn't
Totally.
hang out with, wouldn't love. But you're playing these people and you're seeing their views and finding out what is right with them. Why are they scared? What blah blah. And that's always so fun. I love that you said that.
Yeah, no, thank you. I mean, I feel in a way that Lily, you know, is opposite as we are in personality, especially first season, for sure. First season, she was kind of, if you had to put a name on the antagonist, she was it, you know, before Hook comes in. And so, I just think there's,
And Tink, you and Tink.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Tink. Yes.
All went to Naples together.
Oh, I love that scene. Yeah, no, I think that we all possess, as actors, we have a Pandora's box of all the tools that we can access, and it's just giving yourself that freedom, you know. And for me with Lily, it was like, no, she's not a bitch, she's business, you know. She has a job, she has a career, she has a business to run, and she's all about business, she's about money, she's about the end dollar. So thank you, Brennan, because it was, you know, it's tricky when you're playing that type of role.
Oh,
but
for sure. And and it could so easily turn into such a stereotype. And then if it's a stereotype of a negative person, who the hell wants to watch that? And
right.
It's an easy trap, and you didn't get trapped once.
Well, and that was honestly about all of you guys was so brilliant, all you actors, and obviously as Matt as a director, was that like we gave you very strong characters, but you kept them all human the whole time. It could have gone to a really far direction either way, but you guys are all so talented. You kept them all so grounded, which is, you know.
And then Anne has a nice comment saying, the entire series is your gift to the world, Shawn. So very awesome. Aww.
Yeah, I wanted to.
Showing Graham shirtless. That was.
I wanted to add, some of my favorite moments, of course, too, were outside of the show, were just some of the fan interactions that happened. You know, we created some things like Panlet, that play that we cast and did on Twitter. They created stuff like the Neverland Midsummer Masquerade Ball that you know, this sort of Saw Blue having a crush on John Darling and where that all went. You know, that stuff definitely taught me to like, you can't pre-script all that aspect.
We're gonna have a whole meeting about that.
Yes.
A big part of the show too was the audience too, because we were connected to them in a different way than a usual cast is. We saw your tweets, we were part of them, we would retweet, we would see people at WonderCon or those cons and stuff. Those were my favorite times. Going to WonderCon, I can't remember which con it is at the Anaheim Theater. Or the Anaheim Convention.
It was VidCon.
VidCon.
That's where Michael and I, that's where Brendan and I almost got arrested, because Brendan, we still.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
What did you steal?
A security guard cart and was driving it under the hotel. And then when we got in trouble, I yelled at the cop and said, "We're fine."
Amazing. I was like, who do you think you are? And like, we got out of it because Brendan made them so uncomfortable. They were like, just leave.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh man, but honestly, I called my mom that day. I remember calling my mom and being like, "Mom, I'm like Brad Pitt. I'm a celebrity." Because people were coming up and be like, "You're Darling, you're Michael Darling." I was like, "Yeah, I am." Someone gave me a puppet of myself. I was like, "Holy shit, I made it!" It was
I came down for the day for VidCon, but ended up staying overnight.
That's hilarious.
Yep. Thank you again. I appreciate you letting me crash on your floor.
Speaking of the fans and fan events and conventions, we're going to actually bring some of the fans who have been watching the audience up on screen if you'd like to. So if you want to ask the question that you've asked and we haven't answered it yet in the chat, raise your hand using the raise hand feature, and I'll invite you to come on screen. By the way, if anyone who's on stage or any people want, if you want to lose your shirt or at home, it's totally fine. That's totally fine too.
What? I mean, you talk about Percy, whatever. No, it's not a Percy.
And also, I want to do a screen cap / photo of everyone smiling, looking at the camera lens, not at yourself on the screen, but the camera lens of whatever device you're looking at. So, are you ready? Look at the camera lens. Make sure hair check for yourself, then camera lens. 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Hold it. All right. Great. Cool. Awesome. Thanks. We have 2 attendees so far who have questions. We're going to go ahead and bring them on camera. I'm going to invite you to bring on camera. You're going to fill in this one extra spot we have down here to make it a even 12. Zafreen, you're first, so I hope your camera ready. So I sent in the invite. Zafreen should be coming on. There we go.
Here we go.
Almost.
You're
Yes, he's
muted
a-
right now.
Oh, they're muted right now. But
Oh, okay. Let me.
Hi. Good to see you guys again. I remember talking to all of you like every single episode, every single season. So to actually finally see you guys in person, and now you can see me.
So, what's your question?
So my question is, what's your favorite thing that you miss about the show? Like, what do you miss about it, and what do you wish you were doing about it right now?
these people.
These people. Period. I don't get to see. It's LA's really tough, and especially now with everyone having kids and families and stuff, it's getting priorities are shifting and stuff, and I don't see any of them as much as I want to. Period. They're just period. We still have group texts, and we'll still I see them, and I know like some of them like Shawn and Kyle are closer and blah blah blah. Jerks, big jerks.
I ask you to babysit sometimes. You turn me down, Brennan. Jeez.
I'll babysit your kids too. But yeah, I miss
them do that. Don't let them do that.
Ew, that was a wrong move, Paula.
I miss the people.
Themselves now, right, Gordon?
I mean, I miss being on set with all of them because honestly, like even though the days are so long, it's just so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. The days were so long. We weren't doing it for any for money because we weren't making very much. But like it was just fun, and I do miss that. I miss like we just had such a good time, and so I just miss being with these people.
Yeah, auditioning sucks in general. Being an actor, like all the prep work and stuff, and the waiting, and it lots of no's. So we do all of that just to put up with the few hours of being on set and the magic. And this team's especially brought a lot of that magic to make all those in between times worthwhile.
I think we all feel that way. I mean, I know I definitely do. And, you know, the second thought that came to my mind besides missing everybody is I miss Hook. I really enjoyed the hell out of playing Hook, man. That was one of my favorite characters. It was just so many different layers to him, and it was I was proud of that work. So I miss old Hook too.
I miss finding glitter in my apartment.
Oh, we can make that happen.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, they got kids.
You mean like what
They
we
got
don't miss?
glitter
We
party.
don't miss.
Glitter party at Jenny's.
We should do
Drive by glitter bombs.
we should do a version of the Odd Couple, Hook versus Peter Pan.
Hey.
Ooh, all right.
Another thing I miss, I'll just throw this in too, is a lot of I don't know, I can't speak for you guys, but a lot of the roles I usually book are guest star roles or co-star roles on TV shows with 3 lines, you know, hi, your wife's on the phone. Okay, I'll tell her to hang up or something, and that's it. And so with this show, there was arcs, there were emotions. Every episode was different. You had scenes, you had monologues. Like as for an actor, it was a friggin' dream. It was
part
awesome.
of the team instead of just a swing. Yeah.
But I do miss that. I do miss getting a script and working on more than 3 lines. There's so much in every script. There was 24 episodes in every season.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And I'll say one more. Of course, I miss the people, but there's a credit to Shawn. One of the favorite things and one thing I miss was getting the new script for a new season and sitting down and doing the table read and actually getting to hear the story about what happened to all these characters. Because that's the fun thing. It's like we all love not only each other, but these characters. And so every new season when we got to read, it was like seeing a great movie because everyone was reading it. They were, everyone was there. And so if I could go back, I would like to have just to see like what happens next. Let's read the new script. So.
Sean,
Thank you, Zafreen, for the question.
Let's get Quibi on it and let's do it all again.
Give me money.
Thank you, Zafreen, for that question. We're now going to ask Debbie to come on stage.
Yeah, I actually was like, we should maybe just put this. I mean, everybody needs content now. Have we talked? We'll just talk to the biggies. We'll see. Sell it for $1 bajillion.
Debbie, you're muted right now.
Oh, hi, Debbie.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Debbie.
Debbie, where are you calling in from? Oh, you're still muted.
I can't hear you.
I think you're muted.
Debbie, speak louder.
Debbie.
Oh no, we can't. You don't appear to be
Sign
muted.
language.
All right, maybe if you want to type it. You want to type it, Debbie? Just type it.
I figured it out.
Good.
My microphone is different.
Debbie's here.
Hi. Hello.
Hi,
I'm
Debbie.
sorry, but my hair is just crazy.
Debbie, where are you?
Love it.
Houston, Texas right
Hi,
now.
Debbie from Houston. What's your question?
My question is that I love y'all, by the way. Y'all make my day. Y'all make my life. What would your characters be doing in quarantine right now? Like each one of you.
Good question. I'm glad you asked that question on camera. I wanted to make sure we got to that one.
Yes.
I think Wendy would be vlogging, and it would start off very hopeful and like hopeful, and she would slowly spiral into this dystopian like burritos on the couch.
I could see that happening.
She'd get out of it, but you'd see the spiral in the out.
Would this be an Instagram story or YouTube or which platform?
Oh, she's probably cross platforms at this point.
Okay, all right, cool.
Well, what would Peter be doing? Because Peter would be with you.
Based off of Wendy's answer, at the end of the series, spoiler alerts, they have a kid. So if Wendy's off doing her own crazy thing,
Taking care of the baby.
with the kid,
Peter Pan.
I'm changing diapers in like and craziness, but you gotta change diapers in style. So like there's gonna be Peter, like he's gonna change he's gonna change his outfit every time the baby has a new outfit, and it's gonna
Nice.
Costume theater baby. I like it.
I love that.
Reinvent
I
diapers.
said art to imitate life, and I'm like,
Graham, what would John be doing?
He'd be thriving.
Okay.
He would, every inch of the house would be spotless. Every day he'd have his phone tree of people to call. And when that wasn't happening, he'd be comforting Smee, whose wanderlust would probably be driving him crazy. So his docket would be full. He wouldn't have to see anybody, wouldn't have to talk to anybody. Oh, he already had N95 masks.
He has a stockpile of them.
this is so true.
Percy, how about Hook?
Debbie, Hook would still be at the forefront of media innovation, and he would be hacking Wendy Darling's Zoom every chance he gets.
He would be a Zoom bomber. Hook the Zoom bomber.
Would Hook hire me? Would Hook hire me? Because I need a job.
Hey, I know how they go get it in H-Town. Houston, you can always come work for Hook. I got to stop working.
Thank you.
All right, and Lovely, how about Lily? What would Lily be up to?
Well, as we've left them in the third season, as it stands, Lily and Michael live in their huge palace together. Or is it Michael's bedroom?
Bedroom.
No, girl. Y'all got a palace.
Yeah, with a Voltron.
Michael got his working
With the
Voltron.
Voltron.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget the
We
Voltron.
funded like 8 vaccine trials already.
Wait,
So
Lily.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Saving the world.
Yeah.
Saving the world.
And Michael
like
would be cooking me every meal I wanted, and every meal being that of nachos, because that's probably all he can make.
Yep.
And cereal.
And Michael, would you
Yeah, he makes cereal
like
for
to
breakfast.
add to Lily's?
Yes. So I totally think, I 100% think Michael is your butler just because he will do everything for you. You're not making him do it, but he's going to do that. So whatever you want, yeah, he's going to make. I personally
Voluntarily,
think,
right?
I personally think that when quarantine happened, though, he was not going to be stuck in the house without Peter and Wendy, and so we moved back into Peter and Wendy's house to
Whoa.
be
Wait,
quarantined.
Wait.
I don't know how that's gonna go. I don't know how that's
There's
gonna
no
go.
way so I'm going there. Also, on top of it, to keep me busy, I think I bought maybe some pods of praying mantises, and I'm going to now breed praying mantises.
Great.
Awesome.
The ones that are going
Rolly,
to
you don't think we would-
wasp?
Yep.
Yeah,
But I had them already. My mom got them for us, and so it's
All
fine.
right.
Paula, you really don't think that Michael would want to move in with Peter and you? There's
No,
no way.
I think he would. I'm saying that I don't know how we'd feel about that. But
Yeah, you're not gonna love it.
I mean, there's
And
They'll
Lily's
love
gonna
it.
hate it even
No,
more.
why
you
wouldn't we
want
move
Michael to be
you?
babysitting your child. That's what we got to think about here.
Right, good point.
Debbie, that was a great question.
Thank you, Debbie. That was a great question. I'm glad you were able to ask that on cam. Thank you. Let's go to the next person who is here to ask questions. That person is going to come up on screen pretty soon. Shelby Scott. Shelby Scott, you're next. Hopefully you are camera ready with good lighting and your mic working.
She said she took the Band-Aid off her webcam just for this.
All right, there we go. Shelby, hopefully,
Do it.
since you took your Band-Aid off, we'll bring you on camera so we can see that. Hopefully you're used to talking on camera. Where is your camera?
Michael is
happening.
responsible for the murder, for sure.
I got it.
Hi.
All right, cool. Awesome.
Hey.
Oh, we got
I also
two.
invited Hannah too.
Oh, here we
so,
go. Oh my God.
So Shelby, can you ask your question first?
Yeah. I was wondering if there was any scenes that were improv.
A little bit.
I can tell you that I know Paula, when we were doing the rejection letters, she added some improv. I mean, we wanted everyone, basically the way we ran it was, I wanted everyone to do the lines at least once, and then Matt was always going to let people have fun. So like, there are plenty of times where people did improvs that were just really funny, and like we had to keep them because they were just so funny. Or so emotional, like we kept them.
Do you remember anyone specifically doing more improv than not?
Brennan Murray, who played Michael Darling, I don't know if he actually ever learned his lines.
I remember one we had because I goofed it up, but it worked. But I said great new instead of good new for the kiss, first kiss. And that kept.
I mean, when Peter spits out that ping pong ball and it lands in the cup, that was not planned. That was just whole destiny.
That was skill.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
I was going to say maybe the lines necessarily weren't improv because they were there and that we had some, some freedom. But I think a lot of the action was improv, like certain falling over couches were just like, oh, that's so good, you should do that, or the cup or something. Like there was a lot of improv, but it wasn't necessarily just with lines. It was kind of action and looks and stuff because we got to play with the camera. So the camera was always there, so we were always on camera, and yeah.
That's the only thing I can remember from myself is what Brennan said. So.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Great question, Shelby. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shelby.
All right, and Hannah, you're next.
I kind of have more of a question for the creators. How has it been different working kind of behind the camera on a webcam or on a web show versus on like a TV show? What were some of the challenges and what are some of the ways that you felt like you could bring the medium to life as opposed to a TV show or theater that's traditionally produced?
By the way, Hannah, you're wearing fairy wings today.
Yes,
she is.
I don't know if you know.
These are the wings that I wore. I made a couple of YouTube videos and like pictures taken as one of the fairies in Twitter Neverland.
I totally remember that.
These are the same wings.
Yes.
I kept them.
Can we ask you? Speaking of fairies, what would Tink be up to? We've left out Tink as a character. What would Tink be doing now? And Spencer just asked, what does Tink look like? Because he never got to see her.
Looks like
Shawn.
Shawn. Well, when we left Tink, we found Tink was queen of the fairies. So Tink would be running whatever quarantine fairy stuff is going on right now.
It would be like New Zealand.
Daily press conferences.
Kicking ass.
Yeah.
Hannah, to answer your question, what I have found is that what was great about doing a vlog series in general was we had a lot more control. The more things that I do mainstream with bigger networks and people, whatever like that, you learn you kind of have to let a lot go. Like you have to, it's with this industry in general, it's collaboration. But with Peter and Wendy, we got to really kind of be like, okay, what do we want at the end of the day? And kind of go yes or no. With main industry, you don't really have that kind of power. It's kind of like you just, you kind of have to give up a lot, I guess. I'm trying to think of the right way to say it.
That power is we were that many steps closer to the fans, to you guys. And so we could connect with you and just, I don't know, sort of share the experience with you as we were creating.
Adjust as they make suggestions.
Which we loved, by the way. That was the best. It was just absolutely the best. We freaked out. I cried several times.
Aww.
I think what we got on here, a lot of us got to give our opinions too, even as just actors and not full creators. They still took I'm not saying like, this is what I want, but they would take every advice or every question to heart, and whether it was right or wrong or whatnot, at least they would listen. And so it felt so corroborated. It was.
Well, and I would ask the actors what they wanted to see from their characters once after season 1, to see like what were they looking for, what something they wanted, what something they were hoping for, so I could add that in.
That's amazing.
And from a nuts and bolts production standpoint, one of the things about this vlog style is you basically run the whole thing, which you very rarely do if you're doing television. And so to that point, the big difference is you very rarely get 2 actors to be able to sort of ramp up, do a whole scene, never leave it. And in that way, there's some of the benefits that you get of doing like a play. So that was one of the biggest differences.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. I just remember an hour ago when I said, I got something to say, and then I said, I forgot it. I was going to say this production taught me how to do, I don't know what they're called, but like when you swipe and you can swipe the camera so you can cut it and it still looks like one.
Yeah.
One.
Was
whatever.
it a whip, Matt? Is that what you call it? A whip?
Yeah. And now they're in so many, like Birdman and stuff. And because of this set, I kind of I mean, I can't articulate it, but I promise you I understand it.
Well, and I just want to give a shout out because Brennan, you said that. I just want to give a shout out to Alex, who is the DP, who was our camera op, and he was awesome.
Shout out to the crew, Bloodline crew, very cool. Thank you for that question, Hannah. And there's, by the way, some speculation in the chat that Tink is the vaccine or fairy dust cures coronavirus. So get us out of it. So right.
Race. I don't know.
Fairy dust sounds better than the beach. So
Thank you, Hannah.
I'll go
All
with
right.
it.
So Ann, do you want to turn your thank you, Hannah. Great question. Ann, you want to turn your mic on? All right, Ann. Question?
Hi, Ann.
Hi. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Hi. What I wanted to know was that my experience of the series, I know, would have been completely different without Emmett and without the RP. So I wanted to know specifically from the actors, have you guys kind of read up on the RP? Do you have any experience with the transmedia side of the series? Did you experience any of that?
So I'll say this first. I was so happy I didn't have to do it. I thought when we were first cast that I was gonna have to be like always Michael, and I social media gives me such anxiety. Like the idea, like these 8 people need to like this thing. Why am I saying? I really didn't want to do it, but I thought it was so cool that the characters existed. So when I found out Emmett, thank God, and he was brilliant, was gonna do it all, didn't stop 24/7 for 4 years, which is insane. But so I kept up. I read every comment on YouTube, every bad comment. I like to be engulfed in anything I'm doing. And so I want to see what everyone wrote. So I was always there and always present, but I didn't involve myself because it was just, I barely can tweet my own self, let alone finding another voice and tweeting that. But yeah, so I was involved. I read it and I thought it was incredible. It was almost more fun to look at this script than the other scripts. I was like, what is Michael doing that I didn't even know? Like, it was a surprise for me, which was really fun. And I think he captured there was not a tweet that I read that I was like, oh no, Michael wouldn't have done that. Everyone was like, oh my God. And if it wasn't a realization, it was feeding my character for the next scene or the next script.
I read along with a bit of it, but then I also would get updates. Like if I didn't catch up on everything that week, we had the weekly production meetings where Emmett would like fill us in or Jenny would fill us in. I was like, wait, they came up with a ball? That's amazing. And like just being able to spitball with that and seeing where you guys were taking things or like talking about how we'd handle somebody crushing on John, how we wanted to address that or handle that. I thought it was fascinating. It opened up a whole new avenue of storytelling, and it was great.
Yeah, thanks, and
things like that were directed to me so that I could actually use it sort of as part of my character backstory. Knowing that how he would react in those helped inform my choices for later seasons.
I have a question on that. Does any shows right now, like network shows and whatnot, do any of those shows have something like this?
No,
like
cutting edge.
Well, it's been in various levels attempted, but I mean, even before we did, they kind of like dabbled in it with Harper's Island. They had like the girl within the island that was
crossed over and had
but not to the extent like
because it seems like it's something that 100% works and is interesting. That I can't believe companies just don't get 3 people and do it.
Once upon a time might have had some sort of role-playing communities, but I don't think like that the show was running. I think they had like fan-based.
I think like it's what some people were saying earlier, like, you know, Disney would be terrified if they gave someone like a Tony Stark Twitter and said like, you know, oh, what if he says something that contradicts canon or something that in the future we want to do, or just like our ability to you know,
control
the more indie nature of what we did actually, like let us be closer to all you guys, and of course I'm glad you got to come in for New Peter and Wendy. You're a big evangelist of all the fandoms you're a part of that you really engage with. And
you know what though, I did not feel at all like lost or left behind because I came in the third season. Like, I feel like the community embraced me, and, you know, it didn't hurt that Emmett, you know, helped, you know, get me settled in too. And I think even though I knew he was working, you know, behind the scenes, I still felt really immersed in it. So, you know, I was 100% buying into everything. So that's a credit to Emmett and his talent.
Oh, for sure.
So there's some talk in the chat about bringing some of the role-playing game elements back for Instagram or Discord. So
well, Emmett certainly has experience on Discord, let me tell you.
that may be true.
And what was your? Did you have a character? Did you have a character in Neverland?
I did. Her name was Arya, and she actually, one of the things that Emmett actually, the first thing that Emmett really kind of pulled me in was I had this idea to teach Michael how to dance. And it was part of something that he tweeted. I couldn't remember exactly, but I suggested, hey, you want to impress this person that you like? Maybe I should teach you to dance. So that was kind of the main thing.
Wow, I love that.
Really pulled me in. So that was my character who taught Michael how to dance.
Man, well, thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Anne. That was a great question. We're kind of
you.
toward the end of our time, so let me ask another question. What is everyone working on next that they can talk about and promote? And how can people get in touch with you via like Twitter? I guess if people aren't following the cast already, if the cast, you want to just type in your Twitter accounts or your Instagram in the chat so we can follow you. That'd be great. So yeah, final question. What are y'all working on next you can talk about? Where can we see your next stuff that you can say?
What order do we want to go in?
Let's just start with you at the top.
Kevin, you call it out because everybody's screen's going to be
different. Let's go reverse order of how we started. So so Lovely, you want to go first?
Oh, sure. So there's a couple of films that I'm in, not on the creative side, but that I have an opportunity. So just can't mention those yet, just yet, because they're still working on financing. But so there's that. But then also the play reading that I'd mentioned earlier. The writer is Gary Lennon, who is the creator of Orange is the New Black. He's written a new play called Changes, and the table reading is set to just whenever this all clears up. We're gonna go just dive right in it, and production's gonna start right after that because the money's already there. They're wanting to put it up at maybe CTG, Center Theater Group, one of those theaters, but yeah. So, and that's with Jim Beaver.
Very cool. That sounds amazing. Also, if you want to add in your Instagram along with your Twitter or your TikTok or whatever, new social, your Snapchat, whatever, go ahead and add it. If you don't have that, that's fine. That's fine too. If you don't have that, okay. Percy, you're next on my screen. What are you working on that you can talk about?
I'm currently working on developing a couple of projects with a team of my own. So hopefully by the end of this year, you'll see me produce one of my first projects and many more to come. My last project that I've recently done is a film called Christmas in Louisiana. We're kind of in the middle of spring, but you're quarantined, so you ain't got nothing else to do. But watch a Christmas movie on Lifetime. And the next thing you can see me in is this great movie by this wonderful, wonderful two-man crew. It's called Delicate State. And I show up briefly in a great movie, so check that out.
That's
and
awesome.
And stay tuned.
All right, cool. Thanks, Percy. Matthew.
Yeah, no, recently a script that I work with a writing partner as well. I do some writing, and so that recently got optioned, and so we're looking to see when that goes into production, but that was the sort of the most exciting news recently. And other than that, that's the big one. Yeah, I just got, that's the big news, I suppose.
Right.
So
thanks, Matthew. Graham.
I'm not doing shit.
Take advantage of aquascaping. Aquascaping. All right, cool. Brennan.
Hi, it's Brennan. Sorry, I was looking at my phone. I got a little distracted. Hi, Ella Bella Bingo, this cartoon animation that was supposed to premiere in theaters in February or in March didn't happen, but now you can find it on all the streaming and digital sites. It's called Ella Bella Bingo. It's really cute. It's a really cute cartoon about friendship and stuff, and it was originally made in Sweden, and we dubbed it for America. Also, Captain Underpants is still coming out with certain episodes. We have a new 4th of July episode and then a Christmas episode this year, so you gotta watch that. And then I'm in a movie called The Mass Shooting Monologues. That's kind of I don't want to compare it, but it's the vagina monologues, but not funny. And
With angry white boys.
Yes, exactly. Angry white boy, exactly. So those are my things, but I don't know when Mass Shooting that was supposed to come out this month, and I don't know what the distributing thing is now because of COVID.
All right, Emmett, what do you got going on?
These days, I'm a writer at Niantic. We're best known for Pokemon Go, but I'm on the creative team for Ingress, which was our original game that's still going. And I mentioned a little bit in the chat, but it's definitely got like that kind of alternate reality game interactivity. It's not exactly the same as the Peter and Wendy experience, but similar enough that could be appealing to some of you role players. So
Tonally, it's very different, but it is amazing.
Yes, very different tonally.
All right, Jenny, how about yourself?
I am teaching full time, which didn't change for me because literally the day that everything shut down, we went to Zoom right away. So I teach at the New York Film Academy. I'm at the LA campus, but right now I'm in my house. I teach new media, transmedia, alternative media. Basically, I'm trying to teach the next round of creators that can do things like this. And it's a real passion of mine because when I came up learning how to do this kind of media, there was no one to teach me. I just had to figure it out. I was lucky enough to have some amazing mentors like Amanda Goodfried from Lonely Girl 15 and Felicia Day from the Guild, but we were all like figuring it out together. And so to be able to now have curriculum that has been brought into a film school where they put the transmedia and this alternative media on the same level as feature film and TV has been really, really incredible. So I've felt really lucky to be a part of that campus because they really embrace transmedia and they see it as being a valuable form of entertainment that up and coming creators need to learn.
Yeah, it's a really good program.
Well, thanks to you.
Emmett used to teach, and he comes and he guest lectures a lot. So.
Well, thanks to you both for paving the way for what transmedia and cross-platform storytelling is through shows such as this one. Thank you, Jenny. Kyle, what are you working on next?
Well, so first of all, I want to give a shout out to Kevin. Thank you so much for.
Oh, thank you guys. I feel blessed to be here with y'all. So thanks for having me on.
Kevin showed up at like our season 1 premiere party. He was wearing this like red leather jacket.
Yes, red leather jacket.
I was right here. It's been on screen the whole time.
we called him Rufio at the time, even though we don't legally have the rights to Rufio. So, so thank you, Kevin, for putting this together.
Thank you,
Anytime.
Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
I just launched the Zoom. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
You're the best, man.
Oh, hey, baby.
Good to see everybody happy and healthy, man. I love you guys.
Yeah, it's so good to see everyone.
So we haven't done Paula and Shawn.
Oh.
Paula and Shawn, what are you working on next?
Finished. What's Kyle up to?
No. All I'm doing is promoting Kevin.
Well, thank you. I'm doing lots of Zoom panels every day. Paula, what do you got going on next?
I was just in an episode of Manhunt Deadly Games with Lionsgate as original. I'm working on a card game that has Peter Pan in it. It's going to be a bunch of like public domain storytelling characters that fight together. That's it for now.
All right, cool. And Paula, what are you working on next? What you can share with us?
I mean, other than trying to learn how to homeschool real quick and juggling kiddos, insanity. Voiceover's still trucking along. So I'm in a couple different friend shows, including Polly Pocket one, and one I can't mention yet, but also Mattel, via Shawn's wife's awesome work. And as Percy mentioned, I have my first directorial debut called Delicate State that I actually started filming around the same time as Peter and Wendy while I was pregnant. The first time, so 2015. Goodness, it's been a while. Look, guys, it takes a lot longer to shoot something and do post when it's just a two-man crew. But we're almost there, and we were chosen by the Chimera Project and Slam for a special premiere that was going to be at the ArcLight like next week. But all things considered, that's been downshifted. So I took my foot off the gas a little on that. We're taking a little more time with post, but we're almost done with the VFX and also working at sound. I was just doing sound notes before this, so I got to hear Percy's voice and see Kyle back in the screen. And I'm so proud of it. It's literally just Charlie and I documenting our first pregnancy until you start to realize that something in the greater world's happened that we can no longer ignore, which is that civil war's broken out. Didn't mean to kind of be so prescient on some stuff, but yeah, we have amazing footage from all over the country, and it's really coming together. I'm excited.
I saw the trailer or the video you posted at whatever video you posted. It looked amazing, Paula, and definitely very different from the New Adventures of Peter and Wendy.
It's a far cry from. It's oddly not that far cry from Wendy because it's kind of me, but yes, the world is far different. More of a cautionary tale.
Thank you very much, Paula. And Shawn.
Currently, I'm on 4 animated projects, 1 for Cartoon Network, 2 for Netflix, 1 for Mattel that Paula's voicing.
I love
I'm supposed to be in London right now shooting a sci-fi thriller, but, plagues.
And the director got COVID.
And the director actually got COVID. He's better now, though. He is better now. But hopefully we'll be back to shooting that once things can shoot again. And then I'm in negotiations with Amazon for a live action series, but we'll see because that could go anywhere. Yeah.
Awesome.
Make it animated.
Thank you. You can always do animated. Then the kids can watch it. Well, thank you all so much for hanging out today. This has been a blast. Thank you for making this content that affects us all, even today. Like, I think everyone, either you watched some of the episodes, or it's great to relive this universe that you've created, Neverland that you've created, and beyond Neverland. And thank you so much for sharing with us today. Thank you, Jenny, and for pulling us all together. Thank you all the Shawn for creating this, and Emmett for the transmedia, and all the cast for creating these characters that are so memorable that we connect to even today. The people are asking where the recording is going to be. I'm going to post it on the Digital LA Facebook page, so that'll be up a moment shortly, probably by the end of the weekend once I go through and scrub it. Anyway, that's it. So definitely follow everyone to see what they're doing. All their socials are in the chat, and hopefully we can do this again in the future. Otherwise, have a great rest of the weekend, everybody.
Thank you all.
So good to see you all.
Good to see you, everyone.
So really good to see you. Love you all.
Love you, Pan Fan.
Bye, Pam Pam.
Bye, you guys.
Bye, Pan Pam. Bye.
I love you.
Ah.